Hello, everyone, and thank you, Barbara, for the introduction. I'm Veronika, and here's Gili.
Hello.
And yes, well, we are here. We are both leaders of the before-mentioned LGBT network groups in IBM, Eagle at IBM. And that's why we were invited. I work in Hungary, and Gili works in Slovakia. And we want to represent the region of Central Eastern Europe a bit, because it has not really been touched so far in the context of this conference. And yeah, we want to give you a bit of our experience. And as a matter of fact, we are both not born and raised in the region. We are expats. So what we want to do, we feel a bit in a situation where we are like advocates, but we want to bring the voices of people of the region very close to you. So what we thought of is we printed those cards, and each of you received one. I hope you hung on to them throughout the break. And it has, each of these cards is very unique. It has a statement of one person from the countries and their relationship towards the topic L-women. We asked them to write something about either activism, about coming out, about community. Also, you can see on the card in the bottom corner who wrote it, whether it was a L-woman, it was a gay man, or it was a straight ally. And yeah, we think that it's a cute idea to maybe exchange with your seat neighbor, to talk about it in the break. It might be a conversation starter. What does your card say, and so on. And also we want to have it as a real fair and authentic voice, like which has no scientific yet some kind of empiric impact. And yeah, give those people, let them talk their mind. And yes, well, the first topic that we asked them to say something about was LGBT, L-women or LGBT. We are aware that this is a conference which is dedicated to L-women specifically, but you will find that throughout our presentation we will be merging them together with the LGBT topic as such a bit, and there's a reason for that, because I think that even in 2012 in Europe it is still an ambitious project to have L-women networks, and in Central Eastern Europe we find ourselves in a situation where it seems to be stronger to join forces. Regardless of gender, gay people should stand together, build their networks, their network groups in the business, outside the business, and yeah, they are doing this, and we want to empower women by taking on leading positions within these networks, get active there. This is our aim as per 2012 in Eastern Europe. Can we have the next bubble? Yep. It's about straight allies, and now I want you to look at your card and see who of you has a straight colleague or a straight ally card, and could you raise your hands, please, and look around in the room. You see a very strikingly high number of people who have a straight ally card, and this is not a coincidence. You can put down your hands, and we are very grateful for the support of straight allies in our region. We have, in fact, some of our most active and most helpful members who do technical stuff, who keep up the websites in good shapes, are good at photographing. A lot of them are actually straight allies. And the other reason why I think that straight allies play a fundamental role by now in our networks group is that I know more than one example where a straight ally was actually the leading force for a gay or lesbian person to join the Eagle chapter. So it's a question of solidarity, and this is really needed as per now.
Oh, get the next one. Hi, everyone. So when we talk about community, we're not going to be the first and definitely not the last to talk about the importance of community in our lives and in our workplace. We rely on our peers for support, for their inspiration, for their empowerment. But what's interesting, maybe not but, what's interesting in our region is when you look at our networks within IBM, at EAGLE, which is Employees Alliance for LGBT Empowerment, and there are EAGLE chapters in many IBM locations. When you look at the numbers of EAGLE members in Slovakia and in Hungary, we have very, very high numbers of participation. And this just comes to show how strongly people feel about their community within their workplace, how maybe there could be more communities out there, but for now they really hang on to these communities within their workplace. Moving on to the next. Visibility. We're going to talk about visibility here as well. Visibility is not just coming out for us. Somebody who's coming out and decides to be visible is also committing to a line of possible implications, whether they're real or just in their heads, but it does come sometimes with a price. For example, not many people are visible. I know that some people that know me in Slovakia, they tell me very often, oh, you're the only lesbian I know, or you're the first lesbian I meet. Or when I was organizing earlier this year a business event outside of IBM and tried to invite other companies to come and talk about their LGBT policies or possibly their LGBT programs, many people said, well, we don't have any gay people working here, so we have nothing to talk about. So this is a challenge and an interest for us to really drive people to be more visible. Maybe somebody has a visibility card that they can read. Somebody has a card on the topic of visibility. Anyone?
It says at the...
Would you like to read your card? Could you? Over here? Okay. Consider 20 seconds. No, go ahead.
Visibility, it's, I'm a bisexual woman here. In my personal life, I've chosen to be married to a man, and I consider myself happy in this relationship. I come from a city where the homosexuality is not seen that bad. We have public parties and many places where homosexuals can go. I've grown seeing many gays and lesbians around and never had any problems with that. And I could see this as a natural fact of life. My husband knows I'm a bisexual and has never showed me to be a problem for him. I believe this is the same to a man who chooses being with a woman and vice versa. I choose the person who I like being with, who I admire, etc. And this is, it has nothing to do if it's a man or a woman. So for me, it's natural and totally supports anyone who decided to fight for their sexual freedom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll move it to you for pride.
Yes, we put pride and visibility together into one bubble. We think that it is strongly connected. When I think of pride, I think of pride as with a capital P-R-I-D-E, and it comes to show that that the pride parades, for example, in Hungary or in Prague, they are not to be compared with a Christopher Street Day in Cologne or a Pride Parade in Amsterdam. It is in fact a political demonstration. It's not a party event, and this is, I find, a very striking difference, and which says a lot about the state where we are at visibility-wise. We are going to, I would like somebody to who has a coming out card to read it out. Who's a volunteer? I see a volunteer.
Over there, yeah.
Success though. That's great. Well, thanks for the microphone. Okay, I'm supposed to be a gay man here on my card. I'm 33 years old. Awesome. And I... Just 33. Okay. And I've worked as IT in an IT company. I'm gay. I have been out for a few years. I grew in a conservative community there have been troubles with acceptance among my family and friends. When it comes to colleagues, I have not been out, not to be regarded by some of those who have been homophobic. In general, managers have been tolerant to my orientation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, yes, when there are plenty of coming out cards, it seems like many people had something to say about this topic, and I think that they show a very broad picture. We all know that coming out stories are as individual and as diverse as the people they belong to, and but overall, when I consider similar events like this one, which we had in Hungary several times, when I consider individual encounters or LGBT network meetings, it seems that coming out at the workplace might be more of a topic, more of an issue in Central Eastern Europe than it might be in Western Europe. Therefore, potentially might be less likely to happen. And at that point, it's worth talking about it. And we are not dragging anybody into coming out, obviously, but we want by being there, by showing my face on the IBM internal intranet, I might just be a bit of an encouraging point for somebody who's on the fence of whether or not they want to do it.
When we talk about activism, there's activism everywhere, there's LGBT activism everywhere. What's interesting, I think, about Slovakia, possibly Hungary as well, is both the profile and the topics of activism. So the activist profile is a person who is really looking out to the international community, who's looking out for concepts, for definitions of activism, of identity, of policy, and best practices even out in the international community, and brings them back to the Slovak context, possibly in Hungary as well. Also, the topics that we're talking about in activism are a little bit different. So yes, we do have, for example, marriage equality that is being talked about, but a much more pressing issue is non-discrimination or hate crimes. So topics like that are being pushed forward much more. Much like activists, ourselves and our fellow leaders in the space of LGBT and LGBT at the workplace have relatively few local role models, relatively few local, strong, and in high position people to guide us. So we are very much, I like to say, operating sometimes out of context. We often have to convince and sell and resell our ideas and our initiatives, not just to our sponsors, but to our colleagues and peers. We're very often expats or people who grew up or studied or spent some time in international communities, and we bring these concepts to our local environments, and we very, very much rely on international help and international inspiration to guide us in what we do. Which brings me to our action points.
Yes, it's a little takeaway for you. I want to sum up in the way that, with the words of a girl from Slovakia who said, when she was asked, like, so what is the message that you want to see convey? And she said, well, you tell them it's not all that bad. And yeah, it's true. If you read a lot of the cards from straight allies, they are really positive, and they could have been written from somebody anywhere in the world, and yet we are here and talking about how it is more difficult. So what is the question? Like, is there a difference? Is there no difference? I think it's, as often in life, a yes and no answer. There is a difference, and maybe not. Also, when we were preparing for this whole conference, Gili and I realized that we have a bit of a different opinion. We both bring our different backgrounds. We are not from the same we were born and raised in different countries. We are also talking about different countries. We're talking about Hungary, we're talking about Slovakia, and we have our own individual experiences. So what I can tell you is go out and judge for yourselves, and maybe some practical idea if you always wanted to visit Prague, or if you were planning to go to Warsaw anytime in the next year. It might just coincidentally happen that you schedule the trip for the time when the Pride Week is and take part in the march. It actually does make a difference, and it's a good opportunity to be there and do something good. I can encourage you to do that. And also, if you happen to get to know somebody from the Central Eastern European region, stay in touch, write emails over Facebook or LinkedIn or other social networks, share practices, ask, because I think that connection and communication is really very much the bridge, and it's a tool of empowerment. So this is what I can write into your books.
And maybe speaking of connection, another practical idea, if you work for an international company, I know that we're running out of time, that has a location in Slovakia or in Hungary or in a Central Eastern European country, get in touch with colleagues who work in our region. If you don't know how to find these colleagues, get in touch with us and we'll help you make that bridge. Yourselves can be very easily mentors, inspiration and empowerment for these people. You don't have to be managers, you don't have to have any kind of skill. It's really just your presence in a different country, in an international environment, and your inspiration that could really, really help your colleagues in a different country. So just an idea. Thank you.